Welcome to the Union Weekly Insider. I'm Allison Meyer, and this is the official podcast for the Union Weekly out of Cal State Long Beach. I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you what it takes to put together a weekly publication.
Hi there, I'm Britney Weller. I'm the Multimedia Assistant, and this is the Farewell to the Seniors episode. This is my gift to them. It's that time of year again. Finals are upon us, summer is right around the corner, and for some, so is graduation. For them, this has been a long time coming, and now they get to celebrate their achievements before moving on to their next endeavors. Among the graduating seniors this year are Alex Ramos, our editor-in-chief, Allison Meyer, our multimedia manager, our community editor, Silvana Uribe, and our head copy editor, Sheila Sadir. The first thing we talked about was how they got started here at the Union Weekly and where they ended up. For Alex, it was definitely a journey.
When I first started contributing it was the semester that I got kicked out of school for bad grades. So the Union Weekly kind of gave me something to work towards and something to hold on to while I was trying to figure out what I was going to do from there. And then I took some time off, I came back, and that's when I actually joined the Union Weekly as a staff member. So being a staff writer was really cool, was interesting, and I immediately got swept in because of the experience I brought from my time in community college. So Katie and Richard, they really liked what they saw on my resume, and they were always pushing me to like step up and do more. They basically singled me out from the jump. Very early on, they told me they wanted me to be editor-in-chief because they thought that I could carry on what they started.
Allison was able to discover what she wanted to do.
I had always known about the Union Weekly because I read the paper, but I was very intimidated to actually submit stuff. And then I met Bailey because we dormed, and so I knew oh, she's an editor, she does stuff, and occasionally she'd be like, oh, can you write an article for me? And I'd be like, yeah, totally. So I kind of got to know her, and then it was just by coincidence she had reposted something on Facebook about Union Weekly needing podcast assistants. I was like, I had talked to her about it before, how I really love podcasts. She's like, well, that's something that you could do. And I was like, you're right, it is something that I could do. And then I saw this great opportunity. I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Just watch me. I'm going to do it. And I got in touch with the Union Weekly people, and I got the job, and the rest is kind of history.
Silvana recognized the opportunity working at the Union Weekly brought, and it changed her perspective on newspaper writing.
The entirety of my time here at Cal State Long Beach has been at the Union Weekly. I was recruited by the former editor-in-chief, Katie Cortez, at a journalism day at my community college, because she was an alumni of the program. And she was like, hey, I'm looking for staff writers. Ironically, I was at a point where I was working at the newspaper there, and I figured no, I never want to do anything newspaper. I would rather do a magazine, something. I don't want to focus on news or working for a publication on this level. But at the same, when Katie approached me, I was like, this is an opportunity that's landing right in front of you. Just say yes, just take it. And I'm glad I did.
For those unfamiliar with our paper, we have a bi-weekly satirical section called The Grunion, and this is what drew Sheila into the Union Weekly.
I really like reading newspapers, so I saw all the newspapers on the stand. I picked out all of them, and I read all of them for a couple weeks, and I thought the Union Weekly was so cool. I thought, cause first thing you see, because for some reason that one issue was had its backup, and it was the Grunion, and I was like, why are they being so offensive? They're disgusting, and it's they were gross, not that they were bad. The image is vile, and it was just really weird, and I read it, and I was like, this is rebellious, this is super cool. And so I actually 3 years ago, my sophomore year, I walked in, I said I wanted a job, and the editor-in-chief at the time just seemed a little standoffish. I didn't go back. And then when Katie was there last year, I said I wanted a job. I said I would do anything, and I did. And I kind of faded in and out, and I wrote some articles, and then this time I came in fully knowing what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to edit. I knew it was what I was good at. it was challenging the first semester, but I'm so glad. I feel like I have earned my time.
Some of our other graduating seniors are Jordan Daniels, our opinions editor, staff writer Natalie Coleman, entertainment editor Peter Clark, and Warda Imran, our intern. They told me about their experiences here at the Union Weekly, and for Jordan, working here brought personal development.
My experience here has been really solid and really growthful. If that's a word. Very growing. I just feel like I've grown and I've constantly evolved. I've constantly changed and learned, and I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate the fact that I was in the as an environment that allowed me to do that and gave me that space to do so. And I regret that I was the one who was inhibiting myself from doing that in that space. And I know that push was always there to grow. I just need to find my way to like see that.
Natalie was able to find a place where she fit in at the Union Weekly.
Oh my God. The second I walked in through the door, like everyone was so friendly. It was like the best thing ever. I felt like I fit in. Like, I don't know. I hate to trash the daily because I know them and I'm like friends with them, but like it's just not inviting. The editors are like friends with the editors and only the editors. Here you're like close with everybody. I feel like no matter what your level of like your writing skills and your person, like who you are exactly, like the Union Weekly is very accepting to you. And like they take in people from outside of journalism majors. And I think that's really cool because you don't have to be a journalism major to know how to write, to want to write, to be creative, to do all those things. Like it's encouraging to have that type of like area where they're very welcoming to any idea that you have. They'll work with you. They'll make sure that you get it published and you can feel good about yourself.
For Peter, he was able to find a community to be a part of.
Prior to being at the Union Weekly, I didn't really feel like I had much of a connection to the campus. I went to campus, I had friends, I went to class, I had friends. I, talked to professors after class, and then maybe if there was a group project or something, I would meet up with classmates who would work on it. And then once I did everything for class-related stuff, I went home, and that was it. And then the next day, I'd come to class, do the same exact stuff, come home. And I didn't really have this whole, like what I do now is like after class, I go to the office and I sit in the office for an hour before I go home, or I work on something in the office and I, have conversations with people in the office. That never existed prior to me joining the Union Weekly a year and a half ago. I never had this whole sense of a place where I could go to just hang out. It was just me realizing that there is this sense of community that you can get from working at a newspaper or even working at a college beat or K Beach. It just offered the sense of community that I didn't have prior, and I'm very thankful for that.
Warda came to the Union Weekly as an intern this semester, and she said she enjoyed the friendly environment.
I think everybody is so nice at Union Weekly and so chill, and also College Beat. It's a little bit different than other student media spaces I've been in. It's a little bit more chill and laid back, which I immediately got that vibe when I first got to Union. And everyone's really welcoming, and it's just been great.
As graduating seniors, they've spent the last few years preparing to survive out in the real world. My next question was whether or not they felt the Union Weekly had prepared them for their future careers. For Silvana, working here widened her horizons to different career opportunities.
I'm currently at an internship where I went into it thinking like, okay, this is public relations, this is my realm, like I have the writing down, but the bulk of my work there has been designing. And that's something that in design, I only took like a semester of it. And the bulk of my design experience has been with the Union Weekly. And I'm not saying it's the greatest, but it's helped me advance so far in my internships. And now I have like recommendations and just good feedback. So with that respects, it's like it's definitely helped me. And then also I'm looking at jobs now that are like, editorial assistants, like entry-level stuff. And a bulk of what they require or would prefer in their candidates are things that I've done here at the Union Weekly. So designing stuff, interviewing people, just knowing when, like how to detect like a good story and a good angle.
Sheila credits the Union with helping her attain internships and to improve her skills.
I wouldn't get like the internship I have that I got now if it wasn't for the Union Weekly. I don't think I would be as strong of an editor if it wasn't for Union Weekly. Like it very much demanded me to up my game tenfold. I think Union Weekly has definitely changed my perspective of working in an office. I think it's changed my perspective of professionalism, of editing, because I take my job really seriously.
However, Alex had a different perspective.
The Union Weekly didn't prepare me for the future. I had to prepare myself for the Union Weekly and subsequently for the future. And that's just coming from the fact that I've been in school for so long that I've learned where my flaws are. And so this year was really about me just fine tuning and making sure that I get all that down.
Producing a weekly paper can be stressful, but our graduating seniors are leaving some advice for those who will follow. Starting with Alex, who had these words of wisdom for Bailey, our next editor-in-chief.
If you ever need anything, communicate. Let other people know that you need help. Rely on other people to help you up.
He added that self-care is important.
The first step to that is you got to take care of yourself. Make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure you're eating right. Exercise a little bit, and if not, just go for walks. It seems like the kind of stuff that isn't really going to help in here, but it helps so much because then once you're centered, everything else just falls into place. So have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. Try your best, but don't let it ruin your life. If you ever make a mistake, if anything ever goes wrong, accept it, own up to it, and make note of it so that next time it doesn't happen like that again.
Allison had some practical advice that will be helpful for whoever takes her place.
Be ethical. There are so many things that you can do, but you need to be smart about them. You need to keep in mind that what you do will always have an effect on the people that you involve in the things that you do. Be ethical. Think about what you do before you do it. Is this going to make someone look bad? Is this going to possibly not be able to get someone a job in the future because this makes this person look really bad? So yeah, you definitely have to be careful. Never stop thinking of ideas. Always plan ahead because eventually you will run out of ideas. It happens. You can be on a hot streak and then suddenly just not have anything to do and you're just going to be sitting there thinking, what do I do? And so always be brainstorming. But yeah, if you're working with other people, make sure you're all on the same page. Communication is very freaking important. Also, don't be afraid to take risks to try to interview people that you don't think that you would be able to. Just go for it.
For the next opinions editor, Jordan wants them to listen to people and to tell their stories.
You have an obligation to listen to other people and to listen to their voices. You have an obligation to be a platform for those voices that aren't heard, to bring about narratives that people don't think about. To really truly as an editor, it's your obligation to to listen. For opinions, it's your obligation to instill change and to facilitate that and to cultivate that for people, because whoever is the next opinion editor, that's your job, to help people find their voice if they don't have it, and if they do have it, help them cultivate and help them grow and help them change the world.
Natalie suggested getting involved and taking chances because there's always room for growth.
Don't be afraid, get involved. I was afraid and I wanted to get involved and I didn't, and I regret it because I feel like if I would have gotten involved sooner with Union Weekly or with the other K-Beach or anything like that, I would have really expanded my being ready for my career in the future. I feel like starting from the beginning is key. Even if you suck, even if you feel like you don't have what it takes, work with the editors, work with the people that know what they're doing, because along the lines you'll learn what you're doing anyway. And having that firsthand experience helps you more than just sitting in a classroom and learning how to write, because it's it doesn't mean anything if you're not getting published.
There are a lot of learning opportunities here at the Union Weekly, and Peter recommended taking advantage of them.
Look into the Union Weekly. They offer staff writing positions, editing positions, multimedia positions. They offer all types of positions, and you learn as you work. A lot of the people who came in, and myself included, didn't have all of the knowledge that was required to run a newspaper or create a podcast or work on videos or do social media. Not everyone had all that experience, and we learned together.
Silvana's advice for the next community editor was very straightforward.
If the community section lives, I'm going to allude to a quote that I incorporated in a story I wrote recently where the person was talking about their small business and they said, if you take care of the community, it will take care of you. So for whoever, comes in and takes my spot next semester, I hope that they keep an eye on the community, love it, because the community will show them that love back.
And Warda recommends using your freedom to do what you love.
I would say definitely use this great opportunity that you have at Union Weekly. Like, use the freedom that you're given to pitch ideas that involve issues that you care about. Like, use this time to really do what you want to do in journalism, because sometimes we can't always write about the things that we want to write about. I think as you get into more upper division classes, then you can, but I think take advantage of the freedom that you have at Union Weekly to talk about the things you want to talk about.
So I think the takeaway here would be to do what you love, take care of yourself, and to be open to new opportunities. And in their final weeks of school and the Union Weekly as we know it, these were their final thoughts on their experiences here. Here's Alex.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that was here and that, turned to me when they needed help, trusted me to lead the paper, had good laughs and good times with me when we weren't getting work done. It was a blast. It was a really good time, and I'm going to miss it.
And Allison.
Go get it. I don't know. I think for me, college has been the learning experience of just learning to go get things. If you want something, go get it. Go put the initiative into it. And I think that kind of extends to everyone in any part of their life. Is like, if you want something, you need to go get it, because it's not going to come to you. You have to apply for that job. You have to go put yourself out there to see if someone will let you interview them.
Here's Natalie.
I definitely thank the Union Weekly for being so supportive, through everything. I feel like no matter how stupid my idea sounds, they're like, oh yeah, definitely, I could see this happening, and then I'll just sit there with them and kind of talk through it. So I think that's really cool that, no idea is a bad idea with the Union Weekly, and I think that as long as that stays true, and as long as the Union Weekly keeps, having that supportive role on a person, then this whole media 22 West media thing is gonna super pop. It's gonna be super cool, and so many people will get involved.
And Silvana.
Just to anyone navigating the college experience or just the experience itself, give yourself the breathing room to wander, to get lost, and know that you'll stumble, but you'll fall back onto the path that's right for you.
And Jordan.
Your college experience is exactly that. It is your college experience, and you have to make it what you want it to be. Do not hesitate. Do not think that your experience isn't worth it, because it is. Seriously, dive the hell in, because I think as people, we all love to care about something. Why not care about your school? And then for Union Weekly, I really believe in this brand and what it means. Other American people don't take us seriously, but we do, and we know that we are killing at what we do. We know that we are giving good stories, and that we have good writers, and we have a great team. And people can fight me on that. I will throw hands. Really, I will, because I really believe in what we do, what we have. I wouldn't be a part of this if I didn't think it meant something.
And Sheila.
It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Definitely very real.
So now we've gotten to the point in the episode where I'm supposed to wrap things up nicely with a metaphorical little bow and send the seniors off with an inspirational message. But I just can't find the right words right now. I may have only been here for a semester, but these graduating seniors have affected and changed me as if I'd known them forever. And I know they've affected others in the office just as strongly. You will all be missed, but it's time to share your awesomeness with the rest of the world. So on that note, it has been amazing working with you all this semester, and we wish the best as you transition into the real world. But this episode should not be ending with me. I wanted to let the seniors have the final word. One word to act as their metaphorical mic drop. One word to wrap up their college and Union Weekly careers. And this is what they said.
Perfect.
Indescribable.
Galvanizing.
Flexible.
Unicorn.
Exsanguination.
Fearless.
Anxiety.
Freeing.
Thank you for listening to the Union Weekly Insider. To listen to more episodes, check us out on iTunes or any of your favorite podcast apps. New episodes of this podcast drop every Wednesday during the semester. Our multimedia manager is Allison Mayer. Special thanks to our multimedia assistant, Britney Weller, that's me, for additional editing and recording. The music in this episode is from the YouTube audio library. You can find issues of the Long Beach Union Weekly online at lbunion.com and on Medium. Go to medium.com and search Long Beach Union Weekly. Please follow us on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Union Weekly.